Welcome back to Midday. Claude Warrior joins us. How are you?
Good. How about you, Steph?
Good. I'm always happier when you're here because you bring great wine.
That's great. Yeah, I enjoy bringing the wine and thought, especially with this weather, you know, sitting on the deck outside a little bit and
it's warming up.
Warming up. Trying to bring out the white wines now.
Yeah, so, and you've brought my favorite wine ever. Could not have come into synchronicity better than this.
Oh, excellent. And what grape is that?
The Gewürztraminer.
Yeah, it's
I love it.
Mouthful to say.
It really is.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things, and people have a hard time ordering it, I think. It's, but if you think about it, the grape is the Traminer grape, and Gewürz is kind of a prefix that's German. That means perfumed or spicy. And so Gewürztraminer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, really good stuff. So which ones have you brought in today?
So I brought two examples of Gewürztraminer. One is from Heinle Wines. I used to work as a sales rep for Heinle Wines years ago. And this particular wine I have is from 2003.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
It's older than I am.
Yeah. Well, that was not anticipated, but it's a great example of what happens to a wine as it ages. Yeah. Because many of us don't know that, and it's kind of instructional to just taste a wine that's maybe past its peak. Right. If you look at that back label on that Heinle wine, it'll say meant to be consumed within 5 years. So here we are, 2003. Meant to be consumed in 2008, and here we are 8 years later.
If you store it properly, you should have no problems, right?
No, probably it's past its peak.
Really?
And it'll give you and I a chance to taste a wine that's past its peak, right?
I don't know. Should we be doing this on air right now?
Yeah, that's right. And so actually, you know, it's not bad, but what happens with time for wine is just the fruit dissipates. So all that's going to be left mostly is the acidity, a bit of flavor, but not a lot. And certainly it's not something that's going to make you sick.
Right.
I know
it hasn't turned into vinegar or anything like that, right?
No, that's right. But it's on its way.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, and that's his first glass.
Okay, that's this one here?
Yeah, and that's the first one. We can just try that. You can smell.
It still smells pretty strong. There's a good smell to it.
Yeah. So it's really not that bad yet, right? And it's already 8 years past.
I like it.
Not bad.
It's not, you're right, it doesn't have that huge fruity punch to it anymore.
Right.
But it still has like a nice flavor to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and kind of interesting, right? And so when you're thinking about when you're buying wines off the shelf, and you maybe err on something that's a bit older, it doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to be horrible. But now we'll compare that to a 2014 from See You Later Ranch in the Okanagan. So these are both BC wines. And you'll see how much more fruit there is, both on the nose and on the palate. Right.
It's because it's still quite young.
It's still quite young. Right. So oxygen really can damage wines over time.
Or you can really smell the fruit in this one.
Yeah.
Typical, like, Gewürztraminer smell.
Right. Yeah. And what you look for in Gewürztraminer in terms of the smell is that perfumed rose petal, lychee. And it's kind of like being around one of those friends who talks really loud and has lots of...
So like me.
Lots
so
of
this
good
is like
perfume.
the me wine.
That's your wine. Perfect, yeah.
Oh, that's delicious. I really like that one.
Yeah, so that one's $14.99 a bottle at the liquor store. And bit of residual sugar on the finish to help balance everything out. So yeah, both the good examples of BC Gewürztraminers.
So what's the best thing if people don't just want to, like, I would just take this out on the patio and just drink it. But if people want to mix it with food and all that sort of stuff, what's the best stuff to pair it with? Yeah,
and it's interesting because it used to be the conventional wisdom was to pair that with really spicy foods. And it does do fairly well. But some of the spicy food categories, let's say the Thai or the Chinese food, some of those people are developing their own wine industry, and the masters of wine there say, you know what, I don't know what about this recommendation to pair Gewürz with that, because it's overpowering. It's a real fruity wine, and it can overpower a lot of dishes.
Just eat it with some cheese or something.
Yeah. Both, but nice on its own. That's what's really nice.
It really is. It's a great wine just to have out on the patio after dinner, before dinner, something like that. Yeah, I love it. You have a class that's coming up here in Kamloops, so you can register at winecollege.ca. Tell us a bit about this one coming up in April.
So I teach the WSET level 1, 2, 3 courses, Wine and Spirit Educational Trust. And so the level 1 will be held hopefully we're working with a winery out of Lillooet, Fort Barons, to teach it at that winery. And so hopefully we'll be able to do that on April 10th. Also, I'll be doing some events for the Kamloops Wine Festival in May.
Right on.
So we'll do an intro to wine course and that kind of stuff. I know it's a bit later this year, that wine festival, but usually it occurs around this time. So
Well, excellent. But all the info is at winecollege.ca, and they can get a hold of you with the info on the screen there, email you.
That's correct.
Yeah. All right. Anything you need to know about wine, Claude is your man. Thanks so much for coming on. Great stuff. All right, we've got more Midday coming up for you right after this.